So hello everyone and welcome to the FIBA Olympic Qualifying Tournaments 2024 draw. Great to have you all here with us. My name is Chris Brow. I have the honor to guide you through this event here, through this draw. Welcome you all to FIBA's headquarters here in Switzerland, also known as the Patrick Baumann House of Basketball. So welcome to everybody here in the audience, but also welcome to everybody joining us now via live stream around the world. Great that you could be here with us. Now, the Olympic Games are only 8 months away, with the basketball games obviously being some of the most anticipated contests. 8 teams are safe as they have secured their spot in the last FIBA Basketball World Cup. But 4 tickets are still available, just like the one you see here behind me. And these tickets await the names of the 4 Olympic qualifying tournament winners who will emerge from a pool of 24 participants, all with the same goal, obviously, to also fulfill their dream and play in the Olympics. Now, competition will be fierce, as you can imagine, so why don't we get a glimpse of what we can expect in July next year? Here we go.
The shake and bake. Oh gosh.
Too big, too strong, and just too good.
How much does he want it? This guy is diving on the floor.
Now, I don't know about you, but I can still feel that energy. I still get excited when I see those images, and that definitely excites me also when I think about next year. Now, to help us tip this off, we are now joined by FIBA Secretary General, Mr. Andreas Zaklis. Great that you could join us here, Mr. Zaklis. How are you doing tonight?
Good evening. Great, thank you.
Great. So this is obviously an important milestone, the FIBA Olympic Qualifying Tournaments on the way to Paris. But this started months back. Maybe you can elaborate a bit on that.
Yeah, this started months back, and what is, I believe, a geography lesson, with the pre-qualifiers from Argentina to Nigeria to Estonia, Poland, Turkey, and Syria. Very exciting tournaments that gave us five teams, some surprises, and then, of course, the World Cup, our flagship event. We're grateful to Philippines, Japan, and Indonesia. We actually have a representation here today in the House of Basketball. We're debriefing a fantastic World Cup that not only gave us the 7+ fronts that go to Lille and Paris next year, but they also gave us 17, actually 19 teams that are going to the OQT. So we're really excited. I must say that the level and the depth that our sport has shown over the last years, clearly a result of the qualifiers, of the windows. I believe anything can happen in the top 20, 25 of the ranking, and this we saw both in the World Cup, in the pre-qualifiers. I'm sure we will see it also in the OQTs.
Absolutely agree. And the OQTs, they will take place next year in July, and in 4 countries that were chosen, if I'm informed correctly, today by the FIBA's Executive Committee for really exciting hosts. Mr. Zaklis, so
yes,
let us in on the details.
Yes, that is true. I'm really proud to have here with us also the Executive Committee together with representatives from both host countries and participating countries. A decision was made today. We will be playing the 4 OQTs in Greece, in Piraeus, in a venue that is associated with the biggest moment, the miracle of 1987 for Greece. We'll, of course, go to Arena Riga in Latvia, the venue that has hosted a number of top competitions. It will host also the 2025 Eurobasket finals. But of course, it is so close to our heart because it was the first and biggest bubble that we organized back in 2021 when Wemby played homegrown in the under-19. And Valencia, next year, 10 years after the World Cup in Spain, we're going back to Spain to a city that organized our Eurobasket Women 21, proven host on a number of occasions, a city that vibrates basketball. But of course, when you talk about vibrates basketball, that is the island of Puerto Rico. And we were discussing today, the executive, after the decision was made, that we're going back to Puerto Rico 50 years to the date of the opening game of the 1974 World Cup. So this is an accident, I must say. It was not made up in such a way. Yes. And, Puerto Rico basketball, the atmosphere in the Coliseo would be fantastic.
So obviously we have 4 hosts that will promise to deliver some fantastic action, some great games next year. Don't you agree?
Yes, well, these tournaments are something else. There are 6-team tournaments. Every game counts. You have 12 out of the top 20 teams in the world playing there. So each game could be a quarterfinal of the World Cup or a quarterfinal of the Olympics. And I must say, having had a few chats before the draw with some of the participating teams, it's rare to see in one of our draws people being nervous not only about the first pot, the second pot, but also the last pots. And this shows the quality of the national teams we will see and how unpredictable these events will be.
All right, so we can all look forward to a fantastic July next year. Thank you very much, Mr. Zakis, for now. But stay with us for a couple of more moments, because now we'd like to invite to our stage our next guest, who left his mark on the game, that is for sure, with his outstanding achievements, both in international basketball, but also in the NBA. Let's check out a quick video, and you'll know who I mean.
The man on the side we already mentioned, Luol Deng.
And here he is, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor to have him here with us here tonight. Please give it up for Mr. Luol Deng.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great that you could join us.
Thank you for
Luol.
having me.
Now, you began your international career back in 2001 on a youth level, obviously, and you had a fantastic career up until 2019, including representing Great Britain at the Olympic Games in 2012, but also at the FIBA Eurobasket 2011 and 2 NBA All-Star Games. But here we're talking about the Olympics. Maybe you can elaborate a bit about, how that was to actually represent your country at the Olympic Games in 2012.
Yeah, no, 2012 was amazing. I think, growing up in the UK and being part of the basketball family, I wanted to leave a legacy and do something special. And I think when the opportunity came that the Olympics will be hosted in London, we did as much as we can every summer to improve the team and to just have an opportunity, just like every athlete's dreams of, to play in the Olympics.
That was absolutely amazing. But after that, you also embarked on a crazy journey to put your native country, South Sudan, on the basketball map, which you obviously achieved. You took them from playing in a subzone of the AfroBasket's qualifiers to playing the first World Cup ever and qualifying for the Olympic Games. Don't you think that's worth another round of applause if you haven't already?
Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic. Tell us a bit about this journey.
Yeah, after I retired from the NBA, obviously I wanted to be involved with basketball. Throughout my whole career, I was always involved with basketball every summer, whether it's through basketball camps or obviously playing. So I know the game very well. So when I had the opportunity to run for presidency of the Basketball Federation in South Sudan, I took the opportunity to try to put my vision together to see what basketball can bring to our country, and just give an opportunity to, people like me that left a country at a young age that are representing other countries beside theirs. And, I knew that we had a database of players. Because of my camp, I had so many database of, players that I know that they can compete at the highest level. It was just about putting a platform together where they can go out there and compete and show the world that, they belong. So.
Now, here's something I think you haven't seen yet. We compiled a little something here for you, some images from this journey. And looking at this now, look at that. So excited, so emotional. What goes through your mind when you see these images?
I mean, as you can see, I'm already laughing. These are the kind of feeling that, individuals and teams feel when they win something. I think for us as a country, since our independent days, we've been looking for something to bring us together and help us celebrate. And for all these players, a lot of them grew up in refugee camp. A lot of them, left and fled home. To be able just to have, an opportunity for something where they can, be recognized and put the country forward. And what it's done for us, not just basketball-wise, but as a nation, it's making us walk around, proud and literally. We call each other the Giants of the Nile, and we finally, can, back that up with going to the World Cup and going to the Olympics.
Well deserved. Well, thank you very much for sharing that story with us.
Thank you.
And I think you're going to stay with us also for a little while here to help us out with the draw in just a couple of moments. What a great career you had, and once again, congratulations to your country, South Sudan, for this fantastic achievement.
Thank you.
Now, this year's FIBA Basketball World Cup directly qualified 8 teams to the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, and the 4 OQTs scheduled from the 2nd to the 7th of July 2024 will award the last 4 tickets, and they will take place in, as we just heard before, Valencia, Spain, in Riga, Latvia, in Piraeus, Greece, and San Juan, Puerto Rico. So 24 teams will do battle in 4 FIBA Olympic Qualifying Tournaments. Again, only the 4 winners will go to the Olympics. So let's take a look at how today's draw will actually work.
The 4 FIBA Olympic Qualifying Tournaments are scheduled from the 2nd to the 7th of July 2024. 24 teams will take part. 19 teams have qualified from the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023, while 5 more teams secured a spot by winning a 2023 FIBA Olympic pre-qualifying tournament in August. They will compete to secure one of the 4 remaining spots at the Paris 2024 Olympic Basketball Tournament and join the 8 teams already qualified. The 24 teams will be divided into 4 Olympic qualifying tournaments with 6 teams each in 2 groups of 3. The OQTs will be played in Valencia, Spain, Riga, Latvia, Piraeus, Greece, and San Juan, Puerto Rico. Only the winner of each OQT will earn a ticket to the Olympic Games 2024. For today's draw, the 24 teams have been divided into 6 pots, with 4 teams each, based on the FIBA World Ranking presented by Nike. Pots 1, 4 and 5 will feed Groups A in each OQT, while pots 2, 3 and 6 will feed Groups B. The 4 host nations will be immediately allocated to the OQT taking place in their country. They will be immediately drawn a competition number from 1 to 3, defining their position in their respective tournament. The remaining 20 teams will be drawn starting from pot 1, allocated to an OQT, and then drawn their competition number. In order to preserve geographical balance across the OQTs, the following draw principles will apply. There can be a maximum of 2 European teams in each group, and not more than 3 European teams in each OQT. There can be a maximum of 1 Americas team per group. There can be a maximum of 1 team from Asia and Oceania in each OQT. And finally, a maximum of 1 team from Africa in each OQT. Each time a team will be drawn, the draw software will display the available groups. The team will be allocated to the first available group from the left. The draw is complete when all teams have been drawn in an OQT with their respective group number and the order of games has been determined.
So we're just about ready for the draw, but I'd like to now introduce FIBA's head of competition, Fabien Webb. Fabien, great to have you with us. How do you feel today?
I'm very good. Thank you, Chris. Yeah.
Is there anything to add? I mean, we just saw basically the procedure, but anything to add from your side?
I think the video is explaining quite well the draw principles. However, I would like just to remind some few things. Firstly, we'll start with the host. We'll allocate them their group and their competition number. Then, after that, we'll draw each of the 20 other teams that are participating to the Olympic qualifying tournament. And the draw software, each time that we draw a team, will show the different groups available to that team based on the principles. And then if there is multiple groups available, then we'll pick up the first group from the left. Then also we'll pick up the draw number of each of the team that will help us to create the pairings and the schedule of the competition and of each Olympic qualifying tournament. And the last thing I would like to remind is that pot 1, 4, and 5 will feed groups A, and the pot 2, 3, and 6 will feed group B. So that's what I wanted to add to this draw video.
So obviously, put a lot of thought into it. Now we know how this is going to run down. And before we start, I'd also like to welcome two more supporting hands that are joining us here today. On the one side, we have Jad Komenawa. Great to have you with us, Jad. And we have Oliva Zasela. Great to have you with us both. Maybe a big round of applause to our helping hands here behind the balls. Thank you very much for joining us. So, are we ready to get started, Fabien?
Yes, we are.
All right, let's go right to it.
Thank you, Chris. So now we'll start to proceed with the draw. And then I will ask Mr. Deng to start with the first host, please.
Spain.
So Spain will be playing, obviously, in Valencia in Group A.
Spain have played at every Olympics since the year 2000. They were silver medalists in 2008 and 2012 and won a bronze medal in 2016.
With the competition number 3. Then we move to the second host.
Latvia.
So Latvia will play in Group A in Riga.
Latvia are in the FIBA Olympic Qualifying Tournament field for the first time after reaching the quarterfinals of the World Cup and finishing 5th.
With the competition number 3. So then we move to the third host.
Greece.
So Greece will play in pairs in Greece, obviously, in the Group B.
Greece have played in the last 4 FIBA Olympic qualifying tournaments and have been successful once when they hosted an Olympic qualifying tournament in 2008.
With the competition number 2. And then we go with the last host.
Puerto Rico.
So Puerto Rico will play in San Juan in Group B.
Puerto Rico participated in the last 4 FIBA Olympic qualifying tournaments. They last played at the Olympics in Athens in 2004.
With the competition number 2. So now we can start with the pot 1, with the last 2 remaining teams from this pot. And pot 1 will feed groups A.
Slovenia.
So Slovenia will be to the first group, will be allocated to the first group available, which is in Greece, in Group A, in Greece.
Slovenia claimed Olympic qualifying tournament title in 2021 to earn a spot in Tokyo and take part in their first Olympic tournament.
With the competition number 1. And then the last team from pot 1.
Lithuania.
So Lithuania will be playing and allocated in Puerto Rico in Group A.
Lithuania played at the 2012 Olympic qualifying tournaments and claimed the spot for the London Games. They missed out on Tokyo and are eager to earn and return to the 2024 Olympics.
With the competition number 3. So now we can move to pot 2, and pot 2 will feed groups B.
Poland.
So Poland will be allocated to the first available group, which is in Spain in Group B.
Poland hosted one of the FIBA Olympic pre-qualifying tournaments and won all 5 of their games to clinch a spot in this Olympic qualifying field.
With the competition number 2.
Italy.
So Italy will go and play in the only available group here, which is in Puerto Rico in Group B.
After falling to Croatia in 2016, Italy made a dazzling run to the Tokyo Games, winning the last Olympic qualifying tournament in Belgrade.
With the competition number 1. And then the last team in pot 2.
Brazil.
So Brazil will go and play in Riga, Latvia in Group B.
Brazil played at the 2012 and 2016 Summer Games, but barely missed out on the Tokyo Olympics in 2021 after losing in the final of one of the Olympic qualifying tournaments.
With the competition number 1. Then we can move to pot 3. And again, pot 3 will feed Groups B.
Finland.
So Finland will play in the first available group, which is Spain in that case, in Group B.
Finland will play in the FIBA Olympic Qualifying Tournament for the first time. Their last Olympic appearance was at the 1964 Tokyo Games.
With the competition number 1.
Montenegro.
So Montenegro will be drawn and allocated to Latvia in Riga in Group B.
Montenegro were 11th at this year's FIBA Basketball World Cup in Manila and will participate for the first time at a FIBA OQT.
With the competition number 3. And then the last team from pot 3.
Dominican Republic.
So Dominican Republic will be in the last available group, which is Greece Imperials in Group B.
The Dominican Republic were 14th at the recent World Cup and will play in the FIBA OQTs for the 3rd time after taking part in 2012 and 2021.
With the competition number 3. Then we move to pot 4, and pot 4 will fit the groups A.
Georgia.
So Georgia will go to the first available group according to the principle. It will be in Riga in Group A.
Georgia played at the FIBA Basketball World Cup for the first time this year. They will now make a first appearance in a FIBA OQT.
With competition number 1.
Lebanon.
So Lebanon will be allocated to the first available group, which is in Spain in Group A. Valencia.
Lebanon played at the FIBA Olympic Qualifying Tournament in Athens in 2008. The Cedars are looking to claim their first appearance in the Olympics.
With the competition number 1.
New Zealand.
So New Zealand will be allocated to the first available group. Here again, it will be in Greece in Group A.
The Tall Blacks are trying to clinch an Olympic berth for the first time since the 2004 Athens Games. They played at the FIBA OQTs in 2008, 2012, and 2016.
With the competition number 2. And the last team from pot 4.
Mexico.
So Mexico will be allocated to the last available group A, which is in Puerto Rico, San Juan.
Mexico played at FIBA Olympic Qualifying Tournaments in 2016 and 2021. They last played at the Olympics in 1976 in Montreal.
With the competition number 1. Now we move to pot 5, and pot 5 will feed once again the groups A.
Philippines.
So Philippines will be allocated to the first available group. In that case, due to the principle, it will be in Riga in Latvia in Group A.
The Philippines hosted one of the 2016 FIBA Olympic Qualifying Tournaments in Manila. They last played at the Olympics in 1972.
With the competition number 2.
Angola.
So Angola will be allocated to Spain in Valencia in Group A.
Angola played at Olympic qualifying tournaments in 2012, 2016, and 2021.
With the competition number 2.
Côte d'Ivoire.
So Côte d'Ivoire will be allocated to the group in Puerto Rico in Group A. Based on the principle, this is the only group available.
Côte d'Ivoire will take part in a FIBA OQT for the first time after competing at the World Cup this year.
With the competition number 3. Oh, sorry, there is just a few things. It should be like competition number 2. Then we move to the last, I would say, team from pot 5.
Croatia.
So Croatia will be allocated to Greece in Group A.
Croatia won the FIBA Olympic pre-qualifying tournament in Istanbul this year to gain a spot in the OQT field.
With the competition number 3. Then we move to the last pot, the pot 6, that will feed the Group B.
Bahamas.
So Bahamas will be allocated in the first available group, which is in Group B in Spain, Valencia.
The Bahamas were a huge success story this summer when they won the FIBA Olympic pre-qualifying tournament in Argentina. The country has never played in an OQT before.
With the competition number 3.
Bahrain.
So Bahrain will be allocated to the first group available, which is in Puerto Rico in Group B. And as we did a small swap, then it should be competition number 3, but here should be competition number 2, as we reversed, I would say.
Bahrain won the FIBA Olympic pre-qualifying tournament in Syria to clinch a place in the OQT field for the first time.
But this will be number 3, competition number 3.
Cameroon.
So Cameroon will be allocated to the first available group, which is in Latvia in Riga, Group B.
Cameroon won the FIBA Olympic pre-qualifying tournament in Nigeria, and this will be their first OQT appearance since 2008.
With the competition number 2. And then the last team to be drawn for this draw.
Egypt.
So Egypt will be like allocated to the last group available, which is in Group B in Greece, Piraeus.
Egypt gained a spot in the OQT field after finishing 20th at the World Cup. They last played at the Olympics in 1988.
Egypt will go in Group B in Greece with the competition number 1.
So, thank you very much. I think this concludes the draw. Thank you very much, Fabien. Thank you very much, Luol, for joining us, Jade and Oliva. So, let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen, at the results. As we see here at the OQT in Spain, in Group A, we have Lebanon, Angola, and Spain. In Group B, Finland, Poland, and Bahrain. Bahamas, I'm sorry. Moving on to OQT Latvia. In Group A, Georgia, the Philippines, and Latvia. In Group B, we have Brazil, Cameroon, and Montenegro. Moving on to the OQT in Greece, we find in Group A, Slovenia, New Zealand, and Croatia. In Group B, Egypt, Greece, and Dominican Republic. Moving over to the OQT Puerto Rico, Group A, Mexico, Cote d'Ivoire, Lithuania, and Group B, Italy, Puerto Rico, and Bahrain. All right. So we look forward to seeing some action on the field, obviously, with some top players from around the world. I hope you're just excited as we are. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you to all joining us once again via the live stream. Thank you for tuning in, and hope to see you then maybe at the games next year in July. Until then, take good care and stay safe. Bye-bye.